Hello and welcome to Riverside Crafts. I'm Ray, one of the tutors, and today we're going to be making this tag. Okay, so I'm just going to go through quickly what I've used. So the stamp is by Creative Expressions and it's called the Doodle Bunny. The papers are from a Polka Doodle range and they're called Soft and Scrumptious. And the sentiments I've used are from Creative Expressions and they are the inspirational set, and there's a birthday set and there's an everyday set, and but these were the ones that for me, for doing like tags and things, they're perfect. You just slice them up with your paper trimmer and put them where you want them, so they're really useful. Right, so let's go back to where we start. This tag, first thing I'm going to do is decorate the tag. So I've got my paper and I have an MDF tag. Now to get my tag so that it looks nice, I've got to look at my paper and work out which bits are going to sort of meld together the best. Alright, so I'm going to look at putting this one, I'm going to start at the top and then I shall do that now. So I'm going to start my gluing and I'll show you how I don't draw around my tag and cut round it. I don't try and trim it up while it's on there. I sand it and I will show you why in a minute. Glue I'm using is the Pinflair Bookbinders glue. It's the one I use for most of my crafting. I like the fact that it's a nice fine nozzle, and I like the fact that it gives me a nice even finish. Make sure I cover the top of the tag. So that's that done there nicely, lovely. And what I'm going to do is push down on the edges here a minute, so that I've got all those edges in where I want them to be. Okay. And I'm going to take a sanding block. So it's nothing fancy, I'm not getting anything expensive, just a sanding block. I'm just going to go down my edge, nice and quick. And as you can see, it's really working quickly at getting my paper where I want it to be. So I can just pull it off and I've got no bad bits, I've got no nasty taggy bits I don't want anywhere. It's not now too, it's all nice and tight on where I want it. And I'm just going to put this bit in under here. So I'm going to get my glue again and I'm just going to fit it in underneath. Okay, and again I will do the same thing. I will go around it and blend it all in the right place and sand it off so it looks neat. There we go, that's it, good. Go around it again, just pushing with my finger to make sure I've got my nice bits that I want it to be. I'm just going to sand it off. It really doesn't take very long with a sanding block. It makes life a bit easier. You can use a nail file, anything really that's going to give you that nice bit of grit to get it to finish off. Now, I've got a hole, and they're not particularly easy to do, so I use a mini file that came, I don't know where I got it from, I've had it a long while, but I think it's the sort of thing you get for doing craft things with, so like building houses and things, model making. I think it sort of comes under that sort of category. We used to have sets in the shop, I don't know if we still got any, and they're brilliant because they just allow you to do exactly the same as you've just done along the edge, and you can just take out all the little bits in the nooks and crannies with it, so it just gives you that nice polished finish, so it doesn't look like you've got a lot happening. So that's how I decorate my tag to start with. So I'm going to put that to one side for the minute because that is now completely covered, and we're sorted out. Alright, so that's that bit done. Forgot to say that if you have any questions, please do them at the end and write them down and I will answer them too, so just leave it all in comments, won't you? Okay, right, cardstock is Nina Solar Smooth and it is the Desert Sand one. It's again exactly the same as the other one, so the other Super Smooth that they do, and it allows me to just keep it all and work really well with the alcohol markers, which I'm going to be using today. Stamping with Memento, Okay, there we go. Nice tapping with the ink, covered nicely. And I'm just going to push down using my stamp platform again. This is the Crafts 2 one. It's the one I use all the time, so it works really well for me. Right, so that's that bit done. Okay. Okie dokie, right, so we're just going up. No, we won't do that. Just a moment, we're having a problem here. It's telling me there's an issue with Facebook, so just give me a minute and I'll have a check to see what it is all about. Alright. Oh, there we go, we're back. I think we're back. We seem to be on, so that's fine. Here we go. Colouring. Now I'm going to use my alcohol markers, like I said before. But this time I'm not really going to worry about blending them into colour them. I'm not looking at it being lots of shape and dimension putting in it. I just want some colour, so I'm just putting some colour down quite quickly and putting it where I want it. Okay, so I'm not rushing, I'm not taking too much time over it, but I'm not rushing around either. I'm just sort of colouring the bits that I fancy doing and seeing where I want the colours to go. One of the things that is very important to do when you swap from colouring with your on white cardstock to craft cardstock is to know how that colour is going to look. So you do need to have a sort of record of how your colours will react on the different surfaces. I have a little book that has all my colours in it, and they're all done so that I can see whether they're on craft card or white card and how they will look. I can just show you that just a second. Here's my little book. So here's my little book. This has got all my pens and things in it, and as you can see, look, so I've got how they colour on craft and on white, and that gives you a good idea of the differences you're going to see in between. So I've got that down for all of my cards, all my pens that I use, and the differences, because some colours will just disappear, as you can see. Some of them just are no point because you can't really tell they're on there. So it's a good way of keeping an eye on your colours and learning if the change. So it's one of the things I do with my pens, is I have a little book that gives me all the info. Right, so I'm just going to colour him in, like I said. So here he is, all nicely coloured and cut out, and what you can see is it's got some nice bright white on it. Well, I just use my gel pen, and it's a jelly roll. We have them normally in stock at the shop, and I just literally am using it to fill in my little bits where I want the white to show up. So I'm just putting little bits of white in where I want it to make it look a bit more how I fancy it to look. It just helps to brighten it up when you're doing it. So that's that piece done, and now I've got a little bit of blending to do. So I've got my blending mat. Okay, I've got my tag, because I'm going to do a tag as well. So here we go, and I'm using brushed corduroy for this. So it's just a nice sort of mid-brown. It just sort of works quite nicely by aging things and just sort of giving it a little bit of a colour on the edge, so which is quite nice. We're just going to go round this. Okay, so we're just going all the way around, blending it in, giving it a nice feel. Right, so that's that little bit done. I've also done the other pieces of cardstock that I'm going to be using, which are these here. So they've already been blended, but I also want to do the faux stitching around the edge of the tag, and for that I'm going to be using a black micron pen, which we also have in the stock. And this is a size 4, so I'm just going to go along and do my little dashes all the way along it, my faux stitching. this helps just to give the sense of it actually being a finished and thought out project. It just gives it a little bit more detail, which is quite nice. Here we go, doing quite well here. I've got a few zigzags, never mind. Here we go, right the way down. Keep dashing along, here we are. Right, keep going, and we're doing it, here we are. So I've gone all the way around my edge. Okay, so I'm going to put my papers on where I want them. So I'll start with the different layers, and we'll put these in. So I'm going to put that one sort of at an angle there, so it's hanging off. And we'll do this one as well, so it hangs off, and it's at a slightly different height. And then it'll come down there, that'll be good, so it can hang there, like so. Right, I'm going to need a little bit of raffia and a little bit of twine. Now, I love this raffia that we've got in at the moment, so I'm just going to cut some off because it's really cute. And we're going to use it for two different things, so I'm just going to pick some more up here. So I've got a bit there. Okay, now when I'm preparing things like this, I have a little pot that I put all my bits and bobs in so I don't lose them, because otherwise they just go for, well, you can imagine, can't you? I put them everywhere. So this is how I have little pots as I'm preparing that I put everything into so it doesn't disappear on me and I don't lose it, which makes life a little bit easier. Right, I've got little tags here that I've had for I don't know how long, you know, they come out of your stash. But they're easy enough to make out of brown card anyway. It's just a little tag that says handmade with love on it. We do some really cute charms that say that as well, actually. So, but I hadn't got any left this morning when I was doing this. I realised I'd run out, so I'm gonna have to pop down to the shop and pick myself some up, because they're what I normally use. I normally use a little charm from the jewellery side because I like them. Right, so this is now going to go here and through, so we push those bits through and twine, so I want it all there. Okay, pull it through, and I'm going to push it through that bit there, put it up tight, turn that to an angle, and that's that bit done. Now I'm going to wrap this around here a couple of times. Should probably go again, actually. So let's do another one on top. There we are. So I'm just going to put a little, try that up there, like so. I can just pull that out so it looks nice. One of the nice things about the raffia is you can pull it and it will give you this nice little sort of pleated bow effect, because you can just pull it out and it sort of expands on you, so you give that nice little bit there. Right, here comes in my hair. I'm going to put him there, so I'm just going to glue him on. Now if you wanted to, you could use foam pads to give you more elevation and things, except that is a personal choice thing, so it sort of happens where and when you fancy it. Right, this leaf is from the die set from the Riverside Crafts leaf set, and I use it a lot actually because it is quite a nice one to use, so I use it a lot. Okay, so just put those two together there, which has done that. I've got a wooden acorn this time, and this is from all the wooden bits we have in at the shop. I've coloured it so that it comes in with my colour scheme for my hair, so I've used the same greens and the same browns that I've used on my hair to colour my acorns. I have no idea where my heart came from, but I have a collection of different hearts, and we've also got them in wooden charms and things, which is quite nice. And here we go. Here is my little sentiment which says wild at heart, which seems perfect. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on that and push that down there today. So that one's going there. I've cut out a photo corner which I can put on, and I'm going to put him up here I think today, because that looks a better place for him to go. So I'm just going to stick it up there. These are all little elements that help make it look a little bit more than just a simple tag. It gives it a little bit more of a finished element. Right, in here are my little tiny black dots. Now these are the waste from one of my dies I have that I collected over time. And I keep them, so I've got them there to use whenever I want. So that's why we have little black dots in here. I'm just going to put them on this side today. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue down, which is the other reason why I really like this particular glue, is because it's got a real nice fine nozzle. I'm just going to pick up the little black dot and put it on the glue. There we go. Sorted. 3 dots. Right, so here we go. One tag. Very similar. We done. Started doing this one's got a charm on it. It's just a plain silver charm, and I've covered with my alcohol markers to make it tone in. So it's literally just sort of doing a very similar project, and I hope you really enjoyed watching me to do this today. Thanks for joining me, and take care. Look forward to seeing you again another time.